part of what grief did for me was help me set more of those boundaries, help me say, I have to listen to myself and what myself is telling me in the moment and be okay with it and go with it and not apologize for it.
Hey everyone, I'm Angeline Constantinou, and this is Her Unapologetic Voice. This podcast was created for women who lead but are done leading from apology. Here we have real, unfiltered conversations about boundaries, truth, and confidence. The kind of talks that remind you your voice is not something you find once, it's something you build. Every episode will give you something real to take with you, whether it's a boundary script, a reflection tool, or simply the courage to say what you really mean. So if you're ready to lead from your truth, not from approval, this is your space. Your unapologetic voice starts here. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a brand new podcast episode on Her Unapologetic Voice podcast. And we are excited to have you here today. So today's guest, her name is Diane Helbig. She is a respected business advisor, trainer, award-winning author, and speaker. As president of Helbig Enterprises, Diane helps businesses and organizations operate more constructively and profitably by bringing clarity, strategy, and confidence to their growth. So with over 20 years of experience in business leadership and sales, Diane is deeply passionate about guiding entrepreneurs and business professionals through the real challenges of planning, scaling, and sustaining a successful business. She is the author of Succeed Without Selling, Lemonade Stand Selling, and Expert Insights, where she shares practical relationship-driven strategies for success without pressure or pushy sales tactics. In addition to her work with clients, Diane serves on the NAWBO Northeast Ohio Board of Directors and the Women's Journal Advisory Board, continuing her commitment to empowering women in business in leadership. So this conversation today is packed with wisdom, strategy, and insights every entrepreneur needs. So actually, we are going to be talking about grief, growth, and leadership after loss. And we are going to be talking about what she did after the death of her father. So without further ado, Diane, welcome to the stage and welcome to my podcast. We are in season 2 right now. So you are actually my first special guest. How's that?
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I know that this topic is it's like deeply personal to you. And I know that you want to honor your father. So can you share a little bit about your father and the role he played in your life?
Certainly. And thank you for the opportunity to do that. So my father was my dominant parent. I had both my parents and they played roles. My dad and I were very close and I learned a lot about business from him. He was a salesman and then he started a real estate brokerage later in life. And we would talk all the time about business. So, and he was a great salesman. I had the opportunity to go with him on some of his client calls. I helped him in his business. And so I learned a lot, from him, not just about business, but about life. But he had a very big impact on me from a business standpoint.
From a business standpoint. Okay. That is great. And actually, I learned a lot from my father because my father actually passed away on Christmas Day, December of 2024. So last year at this time, I was flying back from Minnesota.
Wow. Sorry. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, so what happened? Okay, so let me ask you this. So how did his influence shape the woman and leader that you became today?
So my father had a lot of integrity and stood up for the little guy. He used to say that you could tell the character of someone by how they treated the checkout clerk at the grocery store and the waitress, right? And so I learned those sorts of things. And then coming into business from a leadership standpoint, it was treating people, no matter who they were, no matter what level they were at, with that degree of respect and value, making sure they felt valued and that sort of thing. So he passed away on Halloween of 2005.
Okay.
And he had been sick, but we weren't really expecting it. It was a bit of a surprise. And it was right after one of the big hurricanes. He lived in Florida. It was after one of the big hurricanes.
Oh, wow.
So we had difficulty getting to Florida to, clean out his apartment and whatnot. But my brother and sister and I went down, and we were just talking about what we were doing, what we wanted to be doing. And I mentioned that I really wanted to do something that had more of an impact on the world. I was in sales and it was a good company, but there were things going on that weren't necessarily in my best interest. And so we were having this lengthy conversation, and that conversation sort of moved to other people in my world. And I realized that what I should be doing and wanted to do was start my own business and help small business owners with the various things they struggled with: leadership, sales, business growth, communication. Yeah, all those things that I had been doing for my career. So I decided there was no better time. My kids were really young and just everything aligned. And so I just said, okay, I'm going for it. I'm doing it. And that was 20 years ago this year. I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations. That is a perfect example of how you can turn loss and grief into strength and stepping into your purpose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And choosing to keep going. Did you ever take a step back from work, or did you lean into it? So did you start right away, right after your father passed away, or was there a pause?
I pretty much started right away. I wanted to get certified as a coach, but I really wanted to learn how to market coaching because it was different for me, right? Doing my own thing. And I found a course that I could take at night after my kids had gone to bed. So I knew it was the right thing for me to be doing. It was one of those light bulb moments. And so I dove right into it. I went to the company once I was done with the course, I went to the company that I was working for and told them that I wanted to change our relationship and become an independent contractor, and totally channeled my father through that conversation. I mean, it was as if he was in the room. I was calm. I was confident. I was not attached to the outcome.
There you go. I love that.
At first they said no, and I said, okay, then I'm giving you my notice. And then they pulled it back and said, wait, let's talk about this. And so I got to do that. So I still had income while I was building my business. It was just
right. You and I have similar stories, because actually when I was building my business, I had income coming in. So there's something like reinvesting what you make and putting it back into your business. That is that is amazing. You're a very strong woman. And so did you have to set any boundaries? What boundaries did you have to set during that season? Did you have to set some healthy boundaries during that time?
That's a great question. I had to learn to work during the workday and not expand it, because you figure, well, I've got from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed, so I've got all of this time. And I wasn't as productive as I was once I said, okay, hang on a second. You know what? You're stopping at 5. You can do stuff in the evening while you're sitting with your husband and,
Right. I hear you.
But there's gotta be a bit of a boundary around the hours that you're actually on. So a couple other boundaries I set were, I would only do evening events once a week, unless it was a weird week. So, because I had young kids, and I have often been heard to say, I went into business for my children, not in spite of my children.
Right.
So I wanted to be here. I wanted to be able to go to their stuff and whatnot, but I didn't want to be out all the time as I was building my business. And so another decision I made was I was going to really limit my travel, which limited the growth of my business because there were opportunities I was not taking advantage of, but that was a choice that I knew I was making.
Okay. And that's good that you set those boundaries, especially I know as entrepreneurs, we tend to be workaholics, meaning from the time we wake, and that's not me anymore. I take 2 hours in the morning focus on gratitude and coffee with the Lord. And then I start at like 9 a.m., 9:30. And I usually finish at around 5, but then if, like tonight I have an event, but it's at 5:30. That's different,
Yeah.
And then at night I'll sit on the couch having my tea and just chilling, because you need to, you have to give your mind a break. I
You
mean,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to recharge.
Recharge. There you go. Recharge. I want to ask you about grief. So, what did grief teach you about yourself that success never could? So, what was that lesson, grieving the loss of your father?
Yeah. I learned to, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this, to really feel what I was feeling, not push it aside, not let it go, but to let it happen and let myself experience. And I'll tell you, before my father died, we used to take a picture on our front porch on Halloween, and that was our Christmas card. Then my dad died on Halloween. I was like, I cannot sit on my front porch and smile, like cannot do it. And I ran into a friend of mine and I was telling him that, and he said, you have to create a new normal. So you have to keep the things that you want to keep and let go of the things that you don't, or change them. And it was so liberating for me. And I just thought, okay, great. Then I don't have to, because, my kids were 6 and 9. So explaining to them that we weren't going to be doing this thing. And I came home that day and my kids had dressed my dog up in like a house coat.
Wow.
Dog house coat that was hysterical. And I thought to myself, okay, that's the Christmas card. I allowed myself to say, no, that makes me uncomfortable. And hey, look, this is,
there you go.
The card, it's just going to be different than it had been for 10 years. So
wow, that's amazing. And I love that. So were there moments where grief clarified what truly mattered to you?
Absolutely. Yeah, on so many levels. And that's a weird way of saying it, but it gave me the opportunity to be able to say no to certain things. Where before maybe I would have acquiesced, but part of what grief did for me was it helped me set more of those boundaries, help me say, I have to listen to myself and what myself is telling me in the moment and be okay with it and go with it and not apologize for it. Right?
Apologize. Okay, good. You're right. There you go.
Yeah. So, and that's a big thing because I was a big apologizer. I mean, I would apologize for things that weren't even my fault, right? So yeah, that was big. And it just opens up being able to really identify what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do, where I wanted to play, where I didn't want to play, and that was fine. It puts you you feel life differently, I guess I would say.
Exactly. I used to be the biggest people pleaser and just apologize for nothing.
Yeah.
Just be unapologetic.
Yeah. Because that's really the way you serve. And I always wanted to make sure that I was teaching my kids good lessons. And part of that is that you have to model those lessons. So
Right. There you go. I love that. And what did you learn about vulnerability as a leader?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think what I learned was that it's important. It's not just okay, but it's important to let people know how you're feeling in the moment, that hiding it and pretending like, I mean, you said earlier, I'm a strong woman. So, because no one is strong all the time, and showing people that it's okay to not be strong. And then it's also okay to say to yourself, all right, done grieving, done feeling sorry for myself, done whatever. I got to get up. I got to go. We as leaders, we have to model all of that behavior.
Exactly. There you go. Because leaders oftentimes show strength without pretending. Like they'll say, I'm fine, but they're really not okay.
Right.
And what would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
I would say, first of all, you got to give yourself grace.
There you go.
That no one is fine all the time. And that it's important to show by your own behavior, show other people that you understand and appreciate that they're not fine all the time. And people know you're not fine. So for me, then it's a trust issue. And it's really important for leaders to be trusted. And the only way they're going to be trusted is by being genuine and being honest. And that means being vulnerable. It's okay. But once you're trusted, the world is totally different. When you don't trust and you're not trusted, you cannot accomplish any of the things that you want to.
I totally agree with you. Absolutely. You have to be trusted. Exactly. I love that. Important to build that trust.
Yeah.
And also with intentionality.
Yeah. And so when you're a leader in a company, sometimes things don't go well. And it's important that you share that with people, that it is open book, because they know something's wrong.
Right.
But they're going to think, first of all, it's going to scare them. If you don't tell them what's going on, they're going to be scared. You may lose really good people because they're going through whatever gymnastics they're going through in their head.
Right. In their lives.
Exactly. And they can have ideas that can help make the situation better.
Right.
But if you're not telling them what's going on, you're not giving them the opportunity to contribute on that level.
Totally agree with you. And I'm glad that you brought that out. So speaking of intention, what intentional changes did you make in your business or life afterward? So after your father died.
My father died. Well, starting my business was a big one.
Okay.
That was probably the biggest thing. He started writing. I never thought I would be a writer. My mom was a writer, my sister, my brother. I never thought I would be, but I started writing articles about business and sales and whatnot, to the point where I ended up writing books, which I never, it wasn't in my, like, everything that I did was new for me.
Okay.
Right. I started doing workshops, public speaking, all of these things that I hadn't really done before.
Okay.
And just leaning into it and embracing it and loving it.
There you go. That's the key, loving it.
Yeah.
So channeling that grief into something
Productive.
Yes. And I want to ask you, because especially for women grieving while leading, because they have a lot of emotion, they show a lot of emotion. So what do women often misunderstand about grief and productivity?
I would say that one of the greatest gifts we have is choice. So we get to decide on a daily basis, minute by minute, whatever it is, what we're going to do, how we're going to act, not how we're going to feel. I mean, feelings are feelings, but what we're going to do with them, sometimes when we're going to feel them, how we're going to channel them, what we're going to do with them. We have the opportunity of choice. Now, everyone has the opportunity of choice. I think the difference with women is that we don't believe we have the right. Like, we have been raised, maybe not so much the younger generations, but like my generation, we've been raised that other people's needs come first, that we're the nurturer, other people's needs come first, right?
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. No, because the truth is that we can't meet those needs if we aren't making sure that we are meeting our own and that we are okay. And I go back to, then we are modeling a certain behavior. So we have to be willing to say, I'm allowed to sit in my grief, not for a long time.
There you go.
I'm allowed to experience it. And that's how I get past it, right? By experiencing it and then doing something productive. And that's how you honor for my father, one of the ways that I honor my father is by being as good as I can at whatever it is I'm doing, because that's what he taught me. If you can be a ditch digger, I don't care what you do. You just dig the best ditches.
I love that. Whoa. There you go.
Yeah.
Giving yourself grace. Absolutely. That's what I did, especially with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to give myself, I took the whole month of January off. Yeah, I had to. And I wanted to as well. So how can women honor their grief without losing themselves?
I think they have to be really, this will sound a little strange, but really healthy with their grief. So grief is intense love. So realize that when you are grieving, it's because you have intense love for whoever it is that you have lost, which is beautiful. So for me, it takes some of the sadness away.
Yeah.
Because it's a reminder of how much I love this person, whether they are here or not. Right.
Sure.
And experience it, because it's the only way it goes away. The other thing is, they have this thing that the firsts are the worst, right? The first
Right.
Christmas you spend without the person, the first birthday you spend without the person, the first whatever. True. Just know that that's what's going to happen. It's going to be awful. And okay, fighting it isn't going to make it not hurt.
Okay.
Leaning into it will make it hurt less.
There you go.
For less time.
For less time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because you end up building up a whole other sort of energy and resentment and negativity, because you're not owning the reality of we grieve. It's okay. Do it.
Like this morning, you know what, in Facebook, where the Facebook memories pop up?
Yeah.
It showed a picture of my dad. No, like I was baptized in the house, and here everyone's like, I really shared this 10 years ago. And I was just getting in the online space. I was in the online space, but sharing, how my parents build their legacy. But like there were pictures of me, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
but once again, we have a choice. Those memories can bring us joy.
Okay.
Or they can bring us sadness. I choose to have them bring me joy.
Me too. Me too.
Right?
It brought me so much joy.
Yeah. So I am grateful, and gratitude. I am grateful that I had the experiences that I got to have with my dad while he was on this plane, right? And the experiences and the lessons and the times. And I'll tell you something else. As I get older, I learn more and more about myself and how those experiences have created the person I am now, which I think is hard. It's impossible to see when you're in it.
Right.
And it's hard to see as you're coming up, but you get to a certain spot. You can get to a certain spot where you can look and go, see, that's why I'm that way. Right. Like, okay, well,
you see? Yeah.
And then you let it go. So you don't feel bad about it. And I'll give you a quick example.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. When I was growing up, my dad and I would sit on the couch. He'd lay down on the couch and like bend his legs, and I would sit in the bend, right?
Yep.
And we would watch football and not say a word, just quiet, watching football, whatever. Okay, now I'm a grown up and I'm married, and I prefer quiet. And my husband likes to talk and likes to, do commentary and whatnot. And I couldn't figure out why that was driving me crazy, because he wasn't doing anything wrong, but it was totally driving me crazy. And then I realized it's because my experience and what I loved growing up was the silence, the quiet, just
the quiet. There you go.
With someone else, right? Just that. So I'm totally cool with silence. And that's why. So it helped me not be bothered as much about it. Because like I said, my husband's not doing anything wrong. It's just different. But understanding, okay, well, now I get it. This is why I'm the way I am. I don't feel bad about, and I don't feel as annoyed. Let me say that.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. You don't feel as annoyed. Okay. Yeah. I love that. I want to ask you this. If you could speak to your past self in that moment, what would you say?
In the moment when my father passed?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I would say be gentle with yourself.
Okay.
It's going to be a ride.
It's going to be a ride, the ride of your life. Well, this has been an amazing episode, amazing conversation. Like, we have a choice. Grief, like when I looked at those pictures this morning, it brought me joy.
Yeah.
And it's also like, for me, it's like, look how far I've come and where I am today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, my parents instilled values, Christian values in me, and I wasn't perfect. I was not perfect.
No one is.
There you go. So how can loss become a catalyst for deeper purpose?
I think this, once again, will sound a little strange, but by finding the opportunity in the loss.
Right.
Because if you think about it, a loss like that is a benchmark moment in your life. And I would say take the time and the opportunity to ask yourself, to do some introspection, ask yourself some questions. Is there anything I would want to change? What am I happy with? What do I want to let go of? In what ways can I honor the person who I just lost? And take that time and space to think about that. I mean, for me, it was through conversation with my siblings, because I knew I already wasn't happy where I was. I would have gone down a different road, but it can be a catalyst for great positive change.
There you go. I love that. Yes, absolutely. Because we all have choices.
That's right.
Because you know what? I want to say this, that so many women who will be listening to this podcast episode, watching it on my YouTube, a lot of them grieve silently, whether it's a loss of a parent, a relationship, their spouse, significant other, or their brothers or sisters.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing this part of your journey.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gentle reminder that strength doesn't mean avoiding grief. It's just allowing it, because you can't stop the grief. I mean, even when my mom passed away 8 years ago, it'll be February 11th. There were times when grief just hit like a ton of bricks. This came out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. It's gonna come out of nowhere. I mean, that's a really good point. And okay, then experience it, because it's okay to grieve. And I would say, don't grieve in silence. People, you give them permission to support you, hold you up, and grieve in their own way when you let them in. This whole, I got to be the strongest person all the time is ridiculous, and it's not sustainable.
Totally agree with you.
Don't do it. Thank
you. I got to be the stronger person. I have to be the stronger sister, or what, you know what I mean? Like,
I do. Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It's a lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from personal experience that when you finally say, okay, I'm not doing this myself anymore, they step up.
You have to, there you go. Speak up.
Yeah. We teach people how to treat us.
I love that. See,
yeah.
Speak up, ask for help.
Yep. Yeah.
Lord knows I did.
I did too. And they will do it. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, I can say, okay, I'm the go-to. I mean, I have a letter here on my desk from my mom where, you're our go-to. It's like, okay, great. I mean, she passed a couple years ago. And I just think, I know. And you know what? Not always. And what I learned to do with my siblings is just say, okay, I'm out. Tag, you're it. You handle this for
right. There you go.
You. And so, but the problem with being strong all the time is that it's a false show, and you're telling other people that you don't need the help, so they're not going to step up, and then you get upset with them, like, why am I the one carrying the burden? You're carrying the burden because you're not asking for help.
Right. That's right.
So okay,
release it. Say, hello, such and such, I need your help.
Right. People want to help. They do, but they're not going to offer it if they don't think you need it.
Right. They can't read your mind.
Nope.
That's the first. There's no way. I mean, certainly people get upset over petty things. Like, you didn't help me with this. Well, you never asked me.
Right.
You got to ask for help.
Right.
Use your voice.
Yep. Exactly. That's right.
Thank you. Well, Diane, thank you for trusting us with such a personal part of your story.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Because grief has a way of reshaping us, and it can make you stronger, and your willingness to share how you navigated loss with honesty, grace, and intention. And it's a reminder that strength doesn't mean holding it all together, because we're all human. It means allowing ourselves to feel, to pause, and to heal. So to the woman now listening who may be grieving right now, whether it's the loss of a parent, a relationship, or version of yourself, you are not behind, you are not broken, and you are not weak. So your grief matters, your voice matters, your healing matters. So let this conversation be a reminder that even in the hardest seasons, purpose can still unfold, leadership can still rise, and hope can still be found. So you can't rush healing. It's a process.
Right.
You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to walk this alone. And thank you for honoring your father's legacy, because this podcast episode inspired me today to honor my father's legacy. Yeah, because the way that you lead, serve, and show up is amazing. So, and to everyone listening, may you give yourself permission to grieve, grace to heal, and courage to keep moving forward one step at a time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to our podcast. So make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Her Unapologetic Voice and on YouTube, because this podcast will be uploaded on my YouTube channel And also we are on Spotify, Apple, Google, and all the live streams at Her Unapologetic Voice. And if you would like to receive resources that will equip and empower you on your healing journey, stay in the now with news and promotions at letsbreakthesilence.com. And I have one final question. How can people reach you?
They can go to my website, helbigenterprises.com. Everything's there.
Okay. And by the way, this will all be in the show notes.
Excellent.
So for those of you who would like to contact Diane, okay, HELBIG enterprises.com. I'll put this in the show notes. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope that you get value from this podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Her Unapologetic Voice. Every conversation here is meant to help you build confidence from the inside out and find strength in your own words. If today's message resonated, follow the show and share it with a friend who's ready to lead from who she truly is. You can also connect with me on social media at Her Unapologetic Voice Podcast for updates and behind the scenes insights. Remember, confidence begins when you stop apologizing for your truth and start speaking from it. I'm Angeline Constantinou, and I will see you in the next episode.